Hey you guys, welcome back to the vlog, the channel. Welcome back to another video in the wedding series. I'm so excited to just sit down with you guys and catch you up to speed on everything having to do with wedding planning. Every video that I've shared with you guys so far in this series has been like pre-filmed. So when I went wedding dress shopping, I went in 2019. And I've had that footage for so long, so I was so happy to finally share that with you guys. Today I'm just gonna sit down and answer all of your questions that you've asked me over on Instagram stories. I have like 40 of them, so we'll go through majority of them. And I just want to catch you guys up to speed on everything wedding planning because we've done a lot that I just haven't shared with you guys yet. So these aren't in any specific order, and I'm gonna be as honest as possible and just try to help any bride-to-bees out there that are going through wedding planning right now, or if you're just genuinely curious, because I love wedding content, so I thought it would just be so fun to take you guys along for this entire process. Do you have a wedding planner? If so, are they worth the price? So I do not have a wedding planner. My dad is in the event business. He's been doing events for so long, and it just didn't make sense for us to get a wedding planner because I really knew what I wanted, and if I needed to ask questions, I have family who can help me, and I know that they can save a lot of money, but I also felt like if I know what I want, maybe I can avoid getting one. So throughout the process so far, I haven't seen that I needed one. What have you done so far as planning goes? The first thing we did was we got the venue, we secured the date, and I feel like that's kind of the first thing you need to do besides wedding dress shopping, because you can't make any other decisions until you have a date. The second thing I did was secure the photographer, because the photographer I'm using, she took our engagement pictures and our save the date pictures. Her name is Shiloh. And she's just the best. Like the first time I took pictures with her, she made me and Mohammed feel so comfortable in front of the camera, and her pictures are not super like posed, they're very in the moment, and she captures like the little details. Her photography style was something I really wanted, and that was something I just wanted to make sure she was available on that date, because you guys, there are so many people getting married this year, like the most since like 19 something. I saw something on Instagram, like there's so many brides. The next thing I did was I actually got my hairstylist for my wedding. So random, but I found someone on Instagram that I really wanted to work with, so I wanted to make sure I got her. So I've booked venue, photographer, hair, videographer, and makeup. So those are like the 5 things I've booked so far, and right now I'm in contact with a few different florists trying to figure out where we could get the best deal. What is the theme / aesthetic you're gravitating towards for your wedding decor? So this has changed. So when I first was looking at wedding decor, I was gravitating towards a lot of like outdoor greenery, really pretty spaces outside. Well, with the Texas weather, we're having our wedding in September, and it's the first weekend of September is still summer. Basically, it's very hot. Now my Pinterest board is very modern, luxe, and a little bit glam, because I want a lot of candles, really like neutral colors, so whites and champagne. And yeah, I'll put a ton of inspiration pictures here so you guys can kind of get the vibe. Are you doing anything non-traditional at your wedding? Number one, we're not gonna do a stage for the wedding because I don't want to decorate a big stage. I don't really see us sitting there, and I know if we have a stage, it's kind of like a photo op for people. Like if we're ever sitting there not doing anything, people are gonna be like, oh, let's go take a picture with them, and then it kind of starts this picture hour, and multiple people will get up to take pictures with us, which is not an issue. Obviously I want to take pictures with people, I just don't want to sit on a stage and take pictures for an hour, and I really don't see us ever sitting there unless we're eating. So we're gonna do a sweetheart table instead, just a smaller table with 2 chairs, and we'll decorate that with like a flower garland or something, and make it really pretty and intimate for the 2 of us. Another non-traditional thing, you guys know I'm gonna have a second dress. I'm trying to decide when I'm going to change into that, and that was actually a question. When are you, if you have a second dress, you know, when are you deciding to change into it? Because since it's an Arab wedding, it's basically just the reception. I'm thinking I'm going to change before the first dance. So say we make our entrance, we will dance with everyone, and then we will eat. So we'll probably eat for about an hour, I'm guessing, and then once after Muhammad and I finish eating, I will go change, and then we'll take pictures in that dress, come back and do the first dance and kind of like another entrance in the second dress. That is my idea of what I'm thinking. So if you're having a second dress, I feel like that is a good time to change, because it's kind of like another opportunity to kind of make a little bit of an entrance, because everyone's going to be looking at you for the first dance. So it's kind of like they'll look and realize, oh, she changed. So that's what I'm thinking. Thoughts on digital versus paper invites. We're doing a save the date about 6 months out, so they'll be going out in March, which I will share this with you guys. But we are doing paper invitations just because I feel like it's nice to have something in your hand to feel, and also I just prefer that. I really don't think it makes a difference, whichever one you want to do and whatever's easiest for you, and invitations is somewhere you could save money. So if it's easier to just send a digital invitation, go for it. Like, it's, you know, I feel like a lot of people are doing that now. And then we will send out invites, I think maybe like 3 months before the wedding. If it's in September, maybe we'll send it out in June. I really haven't decided that part, but comment down below how soon you guys, if you got married in the past, when you send out invitations. Will you be having an Arab themed wedding with Debke? So I think this is funny because I think a lot of people, you know, I'm sharing the non-traditional things I'm doing, but we are definitely going to be doing a lot of traditional things. We're doing a zeffeh for the entrance, and then we're not having like a zeffeh group do actual like a debke performance, but we will be doing debke like for dancing. Like Muhammad has a ton of friends that love to do that. Muhammad loves to debke, so that will definitely be part of the wedding. How did you decide if you want an updo or your hair down? You guys know I wear my hair curly 90% of the time. I love my natural hair, but I'm going to be styling it with heat for the wedding, just because I feel like it will look a little bit more put together. I don't want to have to worry about having a good hair day, having a bad hair day on my wedding day, and I just want someone to do it for me. And so I also haven't decided what I'm gonna do to my actual hair, but I'm going to have 2 different hairstyles. So I'll wear my hair down for my first dress and for pictures, and then when I change my dress, I'm actually gonna put it up. For hair and makeup, I wanna feel like myself on that day. You guys know I don't wear a ton of makeup. Even when I get my makeup done, Aya, who always does my makeup, she knows how I like my makeup, and she knows I don't like to cover up my freckles. I still want to look like myself. So I'm keeping those 2 things in mind when I'm doing my hair and makeup for the wedding. What has been the most stressful part of planning for you? Honestly, it's gone by pretty smoothly, alhamdulillah. It really has. I feel like there's a stigma around wedding planning that it just is stressful. And I will say in the beginning, when we were looking for a wedding venue, that was probably the most stressful thing, because it's one of the bigger decisions. You know, all the other decisions you make on what vendors you're using depend on your venue and the date. Whenever I was picking out the venue, I wanted to make sure I could get a specific photographer, so I was like in contact with her to see what dates she was available so I could align that with the venue. And that's one tip, like if there's a certain vendor that you know you want to use for your wedding, before you book the venue, make sure they're available on that day, because you could book like August 1st and then say, oh, the wedding's August 1st, and you signed a contract and everything, and then your photographer that you want isn't available. So if a certain vendor is super important to you, just make sure you keep that in mind. Okay, next question. What kind of food are you having? So this is a little bit of a story. Some venues won't allow you to bring in outside catering from a restaurant, and a lot of venues have preferred catering lists where you have to get food from one of their caterers that they have like on their preferred list. So we talked to obviously every venue we went to about their food situations, and the one that we chose to go with, they are going to be doing the food for us, and we are going to be creating the menu. So we're kind of like giving them the recipes, and they are going to make the food. We of course don't expect it to taste like my dad's food, because it's probably someone who, you know, hasn't had a lot of experience with cooking Mediterranean food, but they're simple recipes, and whenever we go for the food tasting, I will take you guys along for that. One hotel that we went and looked at, it's like, yes, you can bring in outside food, but they charge a fee per person for bringing in outside food. So you would pay the restaurant for the food that you would get, and then you would pay a fee to the hotel for bringing in outside food. So you're basically paying double the amount just to get food from outside, and it's like so expensive and not worth it. Any tips on how to manage your budget for wedding plans? Let me first start off by saying I got a lot of questions on people asking what our budget is for the wedding, and I don't think it's going to be helpful for me to give you a number and say this is our budget, because one, everyone's budget is going to be different depending on how much you personally want to spend and where you live, and you know, the prices for vendors in your area. And two, that's just a little bit something private that I don't think is appropriate to share, and it will not be helpful. But I want to share some tips because I am not good at budgeting, but these are some tips that we have been following. Before you book anything, you need to figure out what are the most important things for the wedding. Like personally, what are the things that you want? And for me, it was good food and good entertainment and a good photographer, because content creation is very important to me. These pictures are going to be used, pictures and videos will be used for all of you guys to see, and I want it to be good content for you guys, but also me and Muhammad to look back on. And if we're inviting all of our family and friends to a party, I really want it to be memorable for them and memorable for all of us. And so I feel like two things you remember from any party you go to are the food and the entertainment. So those are two things we are splurging on, and we are saving on the flower end of it. So flowers are super expensive, and that's something we're kind of going through right now. I got 2 proposals back from 2 different florists, and one is a little bit more practical than the other, so I am just going with them. And now that I honestly went to them like, listen, I've never talked to a florist before, I don't know what my budget is, so this is what I want, but I'm a very realistic person, so we might have to scale back from what I want. I would say main tip, figure out what things you want to splurge on and what things you can save on, and then just try to stick to that. But honestly, majority of people that I talk to, they're like, yeah, we didn't stick with the budget. On a scale of 1 to 10, how extravagant do you think your wedding is going to be? I feel like extravagant means something different for everyone, and I don't even know what it's going to look like yet, because we're still in the process of it. But right now I would say like a 6 probably. But once I take you guys into the planning process and you see more of what things are going to look like, y'all can be the judge of that. But I really don't want it to be over the top, an extreme amount of, I don't want you to look at it and be like, oh my god, they wasted so much money. Like that's not the point of getting married. Are you having bridesmaids? We're not going to do necessarily bridesmaids. We're going to do my two sisters, Lena and Lauren, and then Muhammad has 3 sisters, Alat, Hala, and Nadine, and then my mom and Muhammad's mom. And we're all just going to kind of coordinate dresses, dress colors for the pictures, and that's literally it. Like I'm not doing, they're not going to like enter before me, or they won't have bouquets. So that's another thing we're saving money on. Like I'm not gonna have my bridesmaids have bouquets, so I would say I'm not really having bridesmaids. They're just gonna kind of coordinate dresses. And I feel like a lot of Arab like weddings and families do that. If you have sisters, then you can just coordinate dresses, so the pictures will look good. But for the actual reception, I'm not really gonna have bridesmaids do anything specific. How did you determine budgeting for the wedding dress? So I guess I'll say dresses, since now I have 2 dresses. The first dress my parents are paying for, and I know a lot of, I didn't actually know this until I started going to weddings recently, that a lot of cultures, the groom will pay for everything for the bride, like hair, makeup, dress, everything. And I just was like, oh my god, if Mom knew how much things cost, I think he would have a heart attack. So yeah, we're not doing that. My parents paid for my first dress, and then I'm paying for my second dress. I'm gonna pay for my makeup, my hair, everything having to get ready, I'm paying for. And Muhammad and I are actually splitting a lot of things for the wedding. It just makes sense for us since we both have an income. I'm not going to put all of the expenses for the day onto him. So something I want to do to make, the day super special, since we've already done our ceremony, is we will do a first look before the wedding, and then Muhammad doesn't know this, but I'm gonna tell him that we're doing this. I want to write vows to each other and read those to each other after we do our first look. and that's kind of like a special intimate moment for the two of us before we take pictures with our family and before we go into the reception. So, and then I have my wedding band, but I don't wear it yet, so I'll probably put it on then during that or after the first look. So if you are Islamically married and then you're having your wedding reception, I feel like that's a really good idea to do something, you know, kind of symbolic and sharing promises to each other with vows before you know, go into your day. Honeymoon plans. Beach trip that everyone does versus something different. So I was actually talking to my sister Lena about this because her and Omar went to the Maldives for their honeymoon and they had so much fun. Obviously the Maldives is absolutely beautiful, and when I think honeymoon, I really want to do like something adventurous with relaxation, and Mohammed is the same way. Like, we have traveled a little bit together and we really just have so much fun when we're like out doing things and exploring but also relaxing, so like that mix of things. So I was thinking like, let's go to Greece and then go to Italy for our honeymoon because it's the best of both worlds and we can explore, and I just think it would be so much fun. I still want to do something like that, but Lena was telling me, you know, like after the wedding you are exhausted and it is a lot to pack and go overseas for an international trip and then get used to a different, you know, you're jet lagged. And so I'm thinking that after the wedding we might do something a little bit less extravagant. Probably like, I don't know if we'll go to Mexico. We go to Mexico a lot, so I don't know if we'll go to Mexico or somewhere where the time zone isn't a huge change and we can really just take that time to like enjoy being married and relax. Maybe early 2023 we can plan a bigger trip and do, you know, maybe a Greece and Italy trip, but also we're going to be spending a lot of money, and so I don't want to like plan a wedding, plan where we're going to be living, and plan a huge trip. It's just a lot in 1 year, and so I'm trying to be like realistic as possible, and honestly it's just not looking like we're going to take some huge international trip. How do you find a good photographer in your area who fits your aesthetic? Okay, let me share, because I went down a rabbit hole of trying to find a photographer and videographer that fit my aesthetic, and being a content creator, it's super hard because I do both those things, so I'm really picky about it. So to find a good photographer, go to Instagram and search hashtags. So like, for example, I needed to find one in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, so I typed in hashtags like DFW photographer, Dallas photographer, anything that I thought a Dallas photographer would hashtag to be found. So I would go click on those hashtags, scroll through there, scroll through all the pictures on there, click on the ones that I liked, and then it would lead to that photographer's Instagram. And then I would just save all the photographers, like screenshot them or save them on a folder on Instagram, and so you can like, that's how I would find them, and that's how I found my photographer. Real or fake flowers, question mark. We are using real flowers. We're working with a florist. I don't know if the florist that I'm planning on going with does any fake flowers, but I've been to so many weddings where they use fake flowers and they look so real. So if it's cheaper, then I would say go with fake, or a mixture of both. You could use fake flowers, you know, in places where it's less important to use real flowers. How to find the dress. I'm indecisive and love so many styles. I was the exact same way, and I will say that every dress is absolutely beautiful. I would keep in mind what's something that your future husband will see you in. Like when you're trying on dresses, keep in mind this is the first thing my husband is going to see me in. Is this what I want him to see? And also, you can always wear a beautiful dress to any party, but what's a dress that looks like a wedding dress? Like, I could never wear a dress like this. I never have any other opportunity to wear a dress like this. And those are two things I kept in mind when I was looking for my dresses. Last question, what factors did you take into consideration when picking your venue? So I took into consideration, the number one thing was the aesthetic of it. I also kept in mind, you know, the location of it, because both people are coming in from out of town. So if it's not a hotel, you know, if they can't stay there, then where are close by hotels that they could stay at? And how big it is, because you guys will see once you start seeing the venues that we looked at, some of them are beautiful, but it can only hold like 150 people, or they say it can hold 300, but that would be, you know, packed and so uncomfortable. for people, and it's just not actually practical. So that's why I say, really, if you're looking for a venue, go and look at every single one. Make sure that you like film videos of them, and don't make any like rash decisions. Like, go home, talk it over with everyone, and you know, really figure out like what are those things you need in a venue. And I would say space is number one, and aesthetic is probably number two, and then, you know, food is up there too. How you need to figure out the food situation. Those are all of the questions. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll definitely do another Q&A as we get further along into the year, because the wedding is 9 months away. So this is like my first time answering questions, and answers might, you know, change as we get further into making decisions. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And since, you know, the wedding is so far away, the wedding series will be going on for a while, and it might not be a wedding video every single week, but I hope you guys are enjoying this series. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.